Well, you know who it is, just Fatman from the Holler, and the weather is 9 below here in the wonderful town of Missouri. So, yeah, that's fucking cute, bitch. Get the fuck out of the way. Almost slid into you because you're retarded. Or I'm retarded for being out, expecting people to have class, go fast as they can. I got in a wreck just now because all these little college pipsqueaks in my way. I just went rabbit hunting today because I figured it's going to be 9 below. Well, nothing wrong with being cold. I get cold. When I'm cold, it's close to hell freezing over. Because you see, I go shoot 4 or 5 rabbits on a good cold day when it's 9 below. I do a whole lot of walking, and I set some traps to catch some raccoons. You see, the reason I shot these rabbits is because the old time thing. I don't know if it's in my mindset, it's in my DNA of my ancestors, but you know what? Barbecue coon, it only tastes better when it's colder. Just like rabbit stew or some fried rabbit, or pull some catfish out of the freezer. Everything that you can usually eat just tastes a lot better in wintertime. And I don't mean all that microwavable fast food crap that you buy at Walmart or any kind of grocery store in the United States. I'm talking about that stuff that you go out there on a cold day or a warm summer's night and do some frog gigging, and you skin and butcher your own stuff. I always find that stuff that just tastes a lot better than about anything else there is. And then all these yuppies in their little cars, look at them. Don't you like their little fancy little cars? Well, please don't act crazy because I'm a little bit cold now. I really ain't gonna be nice to some of you dumb sons of guns today. But yeah, I'm rough around the edges and I'm a old hillbilly and I cuss. And I fight and I drink and I do what I do. But you know what? I don't bother nobody. But you know what? Just because the world don't have respect, certainly, I am not going to take it off no one. That's just the way it is and how it is. I'm going to go home and have me some good fried up rabbit. And then I'm going to have fried rabbit, make some rabbit stew. And then in the daytime of tomorrow, or here in the next few hours before dark, I'm gonna go check them live traps and some of them dogless raccoon traps. So when I say dogless, the reason they're dogless is because a dog can't get hurt by them because they're restraint traps where a raccoon sticks his hand down the trap, makes a good old fist. Well, here's what happens. Nothing can get hurt, not a cat nor a dog, because down here in the Holler, neighbors know I gotta have animals. Not too many wandering around, but just per se, I don't like to injure nobody's animals, any living thing. But I hunt and I trap and I do what I do. And now I'm getting a call from my dad. He's probably wondering, what are you doing out on a cold day? Well, if it wasn't cold, nobody'd worry, I guess. But I'm not worried about it because I enjoy the day. Fatman from the Holler and his winter escapades. The heat works in the truck. It's not a sauna in here, but it's bearable, so I don't mind. I can live in a tent with a makeshift wood stove or military wood stove. I don't mind. I got my wood stove going anyway. I started my wood stove yesterday and sat outside. I wanted the fire raging and I wanted the wood stove completely full of wood. So I sat outside for about 2 hours down here in the Holler of Hell, or whatever you want to call it, sorts. You can see the old wood stove is going. And when I say it's going, it's got a lot of wood in it. It's got about Well, from yesterday and so forth, and having to keep reloading wood, I probably got about roughly about 6 or 14 inches of coals in it by Saturday. Coals out, so I can load wood all the way through the wood stove. Don't have to worry about the backlight being full of wood, not burning. You kind of want to rake your coals out, so when you place wood on top, all that wood will burn. So that's what I'm doing. And the chickens are over there. I made the chickens some. We made the chickens some saltwater bottles instead of running extension cord to the heated water bowl and all that. You just take plastic bottles, fill them full of some rock salt, add some water, and it usually works great. Stock tanks, small bowls. It keeps the water from freezing. I mean, it might freeze, it might crust over freezing, but it won't make the water freeze all internal, so they have access to water. I didn't get all my wood cut up as I wanted to, but there's a lot of stuff I want to do. Sometimes you get hurt, you have a health element or this or that, and it doesn't work out the way I like it to. But I don't ask no one for help. I ask no one for nothing, because if I ask anybody for something, then there'll be a time when I may really want their help, and then it might be really cold, and then they don't have it in them to do much. But I always find a way. I don't have to initially beg it. That's why I got a wood stove. Power goes out, I got a wood stove. And then as far as water, I don't have to worry about that. Keep the house warm enough the water don't freeze. I've got about 30 gallons of water stored in case the water would freeze, not depending on the water company. As you can see, I got water barrels right there anyway. So what I do, I enjoy not having to be always worried about the water company, electric company. You know, but my cell phone's paid for a year, so regardless, I'll be on the internet. I'll keep up, but I don't have to have any of them bills, electric or water or internet or any of that jive stuff. All that stuff's a luxury, because I like the era I grew up in, where we didn't come from this stuff, so we know how to live without it. We lived before without it. The only sad thing is, the way the world's going, the libraries are shutting down, the funding for libraries is going to hell, stuff of that nature. Books is where it's at. If I could, I'd have buildings. I'd have a massive building. My massive building would teach people how to make sinew from animal and plant fibers, blacksmith, teach them how to build water for purification. But since I don't have all that money to build all those buildings and teach all those folks, just come on YouTube to entertain. And for some of them it seems deranged, but it's more of a comedy. Because I just don't like to conform to stupidity. As I see the MSN, you see guys like Sammy the Bull Gavano. He's on Trump's. He's on there testifying for Trump. Stuff like that really makes you wonder: are you really grasping for straws? Do you have some kind of ultimate illusion, Napoleon complex, that you just have to be the next president again? What is your purpose? Are you the chosen one to derail the country for your yuppie friends? Or you just want to keep poor people so stupid that they think somebody like you is going to be the ultimate savior? I'm not dogging Trump. I mean, Trump did a lot of good things, but you can't go against 200 years of screw-ups. No matter what president's in there, they're going to ultimately get the shaft, because they're walking into a system that doesn't work. So they're automatically defeated before they ever start. The whole voting system's all rigged anyway. The popular vote doesn't count. It's all electoral college. And I mean, a lot of folks out there in the world, they may not even understand this. I went to school. I didn't like going to school with the class clowns, the bullies, and the punks, and the attitudes, and the shitty acting teachers, where if you don't have about older brothers and sisters before you, they treat you like they're showing you like the black sheep, you know. I like being the black sheep. The youngest of my grandfather's grandchildren and the last of my grandfather's children of his 5 kids. Because everybody else is older than me, they have their own way, and so do I. It's called adapt, overcome, and live your own life. That's why I'm on YouTube. Maybe entertain, inspire somebody out there that maybe have a mobility issue, mental illness, physical illness, or anything. If you have ambition and you love something enough, you'll find a way to do it, and don't let things slow you down. And I have friends who have had bad diseases where a friend of mine was kids, he could walk, and then he started having problems because like Lou Gehrig's disease or something like that. And they put metal braces on his legs, kind of like you see in the movie Forrest Gump. And then he got a little bit older, he was bound to a wheelchair, and he died 5 or 10 years ago. He's a great guy. His brother has a similar disease where he can drive a van, or he used to be able to drive a van for setting, because the gas and everything was on the column, steering column. But I grew up around seeing a lot of people with impairments, and that's why I'm real defensive when folks try to make fun of that, because I don't really think that's nice in any capability. Because I've never treated my friends handicapped any different than anybody else. And one thing is, when you have handicapped friends, they really don't fight with you like other kids, and they don't really talk. When I was just growing up with guys, they didn't talk to me obnoxiously. I mean, they do some crazy stuff, and I had to do a lot of community service around handicapped people, where I'd be sitting there with them and I'd say something, make them all laugh, and then I had corn blew over the side of my face one time, cream corn. But you know, I don't ever blame a handicapped person for having the handicap delays or certain things they do. But sometimes, and I've dated a couple girls that have handicapped kids, but what really pissed me off about those kind of girls is they have a kid that's handicapped and the kid's having problems. They're too worried about their friends, drinking beer, being on their cell phones, and that's one thing that annoyed me with somebody. And then they're like, why don't you want to date that girl? Well, son's handicapped, she drinks all the time, she's on her phone all the time, she's paying piss poor attention to the boy. I'm not taking care of some other man's kid. I've done it too many times, and I can't fix something that's already screwed up really bad. And I'm not trying to be fun or poke fun. This is the way it is. Because everybody always want to come to me. It's like I'm the misfit island king or something. They all come to me wanting help. Do we realize some days I can't even help myself? So there's that. I just think outside the box, and I just invest in my hobbies and buy tools that I can, because tools, survival equipment, antique farm, hand farm equipment, having livestock, wood stove, my own water purification, my own garden, I harvest my seeds, can my own food. I live the old way because it does work. Because, you know, Google, I'm out of food, can you call DoorDash and have them deliver food? Well, say it's apocalypse, you're not going to call DoorDash, you're not going to have internet, the grid's going to go down, you're going to figure it out. You're going to live or you're going to die. Human adversity, you figure it out. On the other side of the fence, it doesn't work so well. But we're just down here in the holler being crazy as ever. Just have my own little commentary, so hopefully it's enjoyable. Much love, and I'm out.